Hey, beautiful people. Thank you so much for listening to Faithful Wednesday 3. The goal is to have a better and deeper understanding of the Bible. Today, I'm going to discuss the book of Ruth. Before I continue, I'm going to give you guys some background information. The three main characters of the book of Ruth have Hebrew origin names. Ruth means friend or friendship or compassionate friend. Naomi is pleasant or delightful. And last but not least, Boaz is in him is strength or in strength. The author who wrote the book of Ruth was the prophet Samuel. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, was from the tribe of Judah. Ruth marrying Boaz helped the lineage of King David. She's included in the genealogy of Jesus. Boaz's mother was Rahab, and his father was Solomon from the Judah tribe. One of Solomon's pillars is named after Boaz as well. The story began during the transitions of judges. Chaos surrounded Israel, and sin existed in great quantity. In Judges 17:6, it said, "In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes." Naomi, Elimelech, Mahlon, and Chilion fled from Bethlehem due to a famine and stayed in their enemy's territory called Moab. Elimelech died, and Naomi and her two sons stayed in Moab for 10 years. During that time, Mahlon and Chilion married two Moabite women named Orpah and Ruth. Unfortunately, Naomi's sons would suddenly die in Moab. After hearing the famine was over and God was blessing the Israelites with bread, Naomi decided to go back to Israel. In Ruth 1:8, she said to her daughters-in-law, "Go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant that you may find rest, each in the house of her husband." Orpah and Ruth pleaded to go with her, but Naomi said in Ruth 1:11-13, "Turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there still sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? Turn back, my daughters. Go, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband tonight, and should also bear sons, would you wait for them till they were grown? Would you restrain yourselves from having husbands? No, my daughters, for it grieves me very much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord has gone out against me. Orpah left, but Ruth clung to Naomi and said in Ruth 1:16, for wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. They left Moab and made it to Bethlehem. Some Israelites recognized Naomi and greeted her, but Naomi told them to call her Mara. While living in Bethlehem, Ruth noticed a wealthy landowner named Boaz, who was a relative to Elimelech. Ruth asked Naomi if she can go to the barley field and gain favor in sight of Boaz. Naomi agreed, and Ruth worked hard in the field to get grain for her and Naomi. Spotting Ruth working hard in his field, Boaz greeted and told her to stay in his field by the young woman. He commanded young men not to touch her and offer her water from the vessels. Ruth asked him why he gave her favor since she was a Moab. In Ruth 2:12, Boaz said, it has been fully reported to me all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you have left your father and your mother and the land of your birth, and have come to a people whom you do not know before. The Lord repay your work, and a full reward be given you by the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings you have come for refuge. Ruth asked Boaz for favor in his sight. He gave her lunch, allowed her to continue on working in his field, and gave her extra grain for her and Naomi. In chapter 3, Naomi urged Ruth to wash, anoint herself, wear her best garments, and meet Boaz at the threshing floor where he was winnowing barley. Naomi said in Ruth 3:3-4, but do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. Then it shall be, when he lies down, that you shall notice the place where he lies, and you shall go in, uncover his feet, and lie down, and he will tell you what you should do. Ruth followed Naomi's instructions and waited for Boaz to wake up. When he finally did, he blessed Ruth and told her he will help her under the Jewish laws of gleaning and liberate marriage, which dictate kindness to the poor and the provisions for widows. Because Naomi's husband was a relative to Boaz, Boaz was able to give Elimelech's land to Ruth and Naomi. Boaz took Ruth as his wife, and she bore a son named Obed, who was the father of Jesse, the father of David. I love the book of Ruth because it was a story of loss, love, loyalty, and redemption. Ruth was loyal and devoted to Naomi. She chose to leave her homeland and her family to support her mother-in-law in Israel. She worked hard and found favor in the sight of Boaz, demonstrating God's grace towards foreign people. God can transform a life of tragedy and loss into joy and abundance. Naomi played a key role in securing Ruth's marriage to Boaz. She knew she was too old to remarry and have children, but she needed Ruth's help to have a secure future. With Naomi's instructions, Ruth became a wife to a prominent man. Boaz was also a kinsman redeemer, which helped a relative in need or danger, especially in redeeming property. With his help, they were able to retrieve Elimelech's land and carried his name. Brothers and sisters of God, how do you feel about the story of Ruth and its characters? I would love to hear from you. Thank you and God bless. Stay tuned for Faithful Wednesday 4.